Welcome to this episode of Social Chatter. My name is Christian Karasevich. This is my co-host, Mr. Vincent Orlek over here joining me today.
Woo-hoo!
And we're going to talk about what's new, what's hot in social media news and tools this week. And we've got a lot of really great things to talk about, but I did want to give you all a little bit of background info, I guess. So, for example, if during the show, if you have any questions, you can put those in the message box over here on the side. You can also put /Q, and that will actually ask us a question. Alternatively, if you want to send us a tweet, there's also here's Vincent's Twitter ID, my Twitter ID, and the Social Chef's Twitter handle, which is a business that I've built a number of years ago. And you can also include hashtag social chatter as well. That's something that we monitor and check. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, don't we, Vincent?
Tons.
So you want to just shoot down the list like we normally do, or you have any?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Do it.
Let's pull up this list. And, this is the thing. This is always so much fun. Like, we always have so much to kind of go through and say, okay, what is most important for somebody as a business owner who's looking to leverage social media marketing in their business? What are the tools? What are the, what's the news that they need to be concerned with? Because there is a lot of noise out there. Yes, they're making updates to this, they're making updates to that. And a lot of times, some of that stuff really doesn't matter, because if the goal is to drive sales in your business, to build engagement with customers, to get the word out, you want to make sure you know how the tools work. And what we try to do is we try to take all that stuff, we try to distill it down and make it easy for you. So we're going to go over 3 topics and 3 tools for today and kind of give you some insight into how they can help you as a business. So number 1, let's talk about the Instagram video rollout. Topic number 1 for today, we're going to talk about Instagram introduces longer videos.
It's huge.
So let's tell viewers why.
If the Snapchat stuff didn't happen, this would have been the huge news of the week.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, man, it's 60 seconds rather than 15.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, when they rolled out video at first, it was 15 seconds. And you could stop and start it, which you can still do that now. And from what they're saying on iOS, you can do multiple clips,
right,
uploaded from your camera roll,
mm-hmm.
which essentially means you can piece videos together, different video clips together, edit them together. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm actually really excited.
Mini minute movies.
It's very interesting. So the question I want to ask is, what are your thoughts on the fact that we kind of have been moving around on how long a video needs to be? I know the answer to that is a video only needs to be as long as it needs to be to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you look at these micro videos, for example, you look at Vine, you look at let's see, you got Vine, you've had Instagram videos. What else?
Twitter video is they limit it to 20 something seconds before it starts ticking down the self-destruct button on you. Basically, Snapchat, of course, is 10 seconds each. But you can piece together those into a bigger story that can really be however long you want it to be. But yeah, it's moving to a 60-second model is, number one, it's different
mm-hmm.
than any other platform. No other platform specifically gives you 60 seconds. Of course, if you upload a 60-second video to YouTube, you can do that, whatever, or 6 10-second videos on Snapchat and a story. But specifically that they picked that number
mm-hmm.
for a reason, based on what they see their users potentially wanting, using, doing, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It's Facebook.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They don't just do things willy-nilly. They're going to do something so basically that gives them that gives users an alternative to something doing Facebook Live, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smaller alternative. It kind of makes sense when you put it with Facebook Live, right? Because Facebook Live is going to be a longer, probably a few minutes. I think you get up to a 30-minute limit on a personal Facebook Live. It's probably the same thing on the business pages. I don't know for sure. I can't imagine it's too different. It's it's another option. It's an option on Instagram to tell a shorter story, to piece it together. It's not live, but it can be close to live if you want. So it's options. It's options. And for a business, we always tie this back to businesses. A business that uses Instagram, and part of business is branding and the influencer side of things that are doing Instagram for other businesses. That does give an opportunity for a very personal take, because 60 seconds, if you actually sit down and time out 60 seconds,
right,
it's longer than you think. It's longer than you think to be able to fill up a full 60 seconds. So obviously it doesn't mean you have to fill up 60 seconds every time, but you now have this leeway, right? You're not just limited to 15 seconds.
Right.
And 15 seconds was even different than the 10 seconds that you get on Snapchat. The 10 seconds on Snapchat, how many times do you see a snap and someone's like, oh yeah, hey Christian, what's going on? I'm here at this place, and then blah, 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 blah. Because you're watching the little timer and you got to fit in that last thing, and then Snapchat even kind of, if you don't do it right, it will cut you off or start you late. So this is geared more towards the storytelling in a way, as much as Instagram is going to do it. They're giving you that amount of time. 60 seconds is a long time when you really think about it, and when you actually sit there and try to film a 60-second video,
right,
you're doing it off the cuff. And you don't have too much to say, but you're trying to fill 60 seconds. Guess what? It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. You better have it planned out what you want to say, or know that you're only going to take up 10 of those seconds or 20 of those seconds. There's more, as our former President Bush said, strategery. There's more strategery involved. Or maybe that was Will Ferrell, just imitating him. But but there's definitely more strategery involved. So yeah, I like it. It would have been, like you said, it would have been the top update of all of them for this week if Snapchat didn't do the major update. And really the 60-second video should have been bigger news than the algorithm feed. The feed, the algorithm on the feed changing from chronological to, engaged users, whatever you engage with. The 60-second video is, in my opinion, I think it's much more important. It's much more of an impact than the other big, huge news that everybody freaked about the feed.
Right. So, okay. So I got to say, I want to give my 2 cents on the video thing. So I actually think this is a really good play for Facebook. Because I think, and again, I'm just throwing this out there, but I think over time, let's look at Facebook right now. If I go to Facebook and I have videos that I want to upload, like I can shoot, really long videos, for instance, with my smartphone. I can put those on YouTube, or I can upload them natively to Facebook. I can do Facebook Live directly from this, which, by the way, there was a really awesome, Zuckerberg did a really awesome unboxing earlier a couple of days ago on Oculus Rift. It was great, done from Facebook Live. So I can broadcast a live event, or I can create these little mini videos using Instagram. And while they're separate, I think at some point, these things are going to kind of have to, I think we'll probably keep saying this. I think they're going to converge at some point. I love, though, the fact that you have options for creating content. I love video editing. I will say exactly what you said. I mean, if you want to create a 1-minute video, for example, I put together social snacks, and they are under 5-minute social media videos. They're tutorials. For example, I did one, I think it was earlier this week. It was, I think it was 5 ways you can sell on Instagram, going through some examples, kind of showing you some of those ways. And I try to keep those to 5 minutes. And I will tell you this, I shoot a 5-minute video. I plan it out. I know exactly what I want to say, and then I have to edit the thing. And so that's kind of the beauty, I think, in having like options for these different ways you can shoot video these days. You can put together, for instance, on Instagram, if it's 60 seconds, lots of little mini clips now, and combine them together and create a nice 1-minute video, which, it does take time. I mean, a 5-minute video takes, 30 minutes, an hour maybe to edit. It just really depends how, intricate you want to get. So I'm excited, though. I mean, as a business, I think, this is just amazing. I mean, you really need to spend the time learning how to use your smartphone because these things can do, just wonders. I mean, I shoot most of my content. Here's how I shoot it. I don't use my DSLR. I basically either use my iPhone or I'm doing a screencast, and that's basically it. I use that, and then I have a couple of obviously mics and stuff like that. But the benefit is you now have all of the equipment basically you could need to be able to create some really awesome stuff for your business.
Let me ask you this, Christian, because being that it's now 60 seconds, that tends to lean more towards brands and influencers and well-produced content. Don't you feel like the 60 seconds will lend itself more toward the pre-produced content rather than 15 seconds, which lends itself more to the live or real-time-ish content?
So I would say
you can upload videos you can create the video, put it on your phone, and upload it from your phone that you've already produced. You can upload the file. So like you can make a video really with the DSLR and all that, the graphics and all that stuff. You can make an actual full-on video and put it on Instagram now and have it be found there, and then take that same video and put it up on YouTube too.
Right, and that's actually one of the things that, that's the benefit of repurposing content. Mm-hmm. This is actually something that I'm going to talk a little bit about at Social Media Marketing World, actually.
Cool. Hey, Karen, what's up? Go ahead, Christian. Sorry.
Sure, no worries. I'm going to actually talk about Facebook Notes, but, the one thing that I was kind of thinking about this as I've been putting this together, a lot of people are probably going to say, well, it's Facebook. Like, why should I, they're going to think about it probably like this. Oh, should I write my content here and then also write it here on Facebook? And the answer is, you really need to start looking into repurposing your content.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? And here's the thing: there's so much value in it too, because it really comes down to what the channel is going to go on and how you're going to share it with somebody. So I would say, as far as videos, you can create like little teasers out of it, and then you could put that, for instance, up on say an Instagram, or you could. Or you can, you can have something up on Facebook, and then once somebody goes to Facebook, they can, potentially watch your little trailer, and you can have them learn more that dumps them off to a longer version. So I would say you really kind of have to be flexible and adaptable to the video content you're going to be sharing, because there's so much there. By the way, is that who's that? Karen Clark, I think. Yeah, my buddy Karen Clark. Yes. So yeah. I think she's on. So I gotta say, I agree with you as far as is the content going to be pre-produced. I think you're going to start to see some of that, but I think at the same time, you may have heard this person, but Zach King, he's a guy I've been following for like.
Oh yeah, he does amazing stuff.
That's kind of how I learned most of my video editing that I've done. A lot of it's self-taught, but I also learned it from a lot of stuff he does. And he shoots. He started off with Vine, and he totally rocks the 15-second video. He moved over to Instagram. He's doing tons of stuff there. He does amazing work.
Oh yeah, on Vine. He does in 6 seconds. He does crazy stuff. But his YouTube videos, I'll see a lot of his stuff from like a Facebook page. Will share all his Vine videos put together. Right,
and so in speaking to that, like if I'm shooting like video, for instance, with Instagram or any of these tools nowadays, that for him to do a video like that, it takes a lot of work. A lot, because there's other tools like, he uses a lot more advanced tools.
Right.
And, things that the average person who's shooting video is not going to have access to, or is not going to have invested in. So he's able to produce something that's really slick looking, so I would say, honestly, I think you kind of have to balance the two. You're going to want to have some of the stuff that is more about your business, like in the moment, for instance, like a Facebook Live type video. But then, if you're going to do something for Instagram with these longer videos, you're going to want to plan that out, I think, and put up the best, because you only get one chance to make a first impression with somebody. And so if the content you put up is not very good on Instagram, the first time it might not be, or the second or the third, but, you kind of have to use it as an experiment, kind of like what we've done with Blab. When you and I started this, we sort of had a script. We went off of it. We said, hey, we're going to try to keep these to 30 to 45 minutes. And the first time it didn't happen. So we have tried to retool things and improve things. And the key thing is, I think, to, if you're going to shoot video with Instagram, get familiar with the tool, and then don't be afraid to like put some content up and ask your audience what they think about it, or listen for feedback.
Right.
Because there's tons of stuff out there. People are happy to give you feedback. So By the way, I did want to mention well, you know what? I'll say this towards the end, actually. It's another tool. It's actually not on our list today, but I will put this in here because I think it's an important tool to mention because it talks about, it leans more on the fact that, you know how like you can edit now and whatnot with your iPhone and whatnot, or so you can shoot your iPhone for a lot of these channels. This is actually a tool you can edit on your iPhone. It's done by a company that they've worked with a number of Hollywood producers. So it's kind of showing you a little bit of a glimpse into the future, I guess, of how you can do editing. So with that, I'm going to introduce topic number 2, and I want to actually let you talk about this one because this is a big one. So topic number 2 is, let me put these in here. You know what? Drop-ins won't show in recordings. Okay, great. Not a big thank you very much. So I dropped in a new link. Well, oh, that's interesting. So let me see if this will work.
Oh, something's about to happen. I can see it.
Is it showing up? Because it's actually not kicking.
Well, no, it's just black. There's nothing there.
Huh. It keeps kicking it out. Let me see.
Oh, Christian, can you make me a co-host?
Yeah, let me do that.
Will it let you?
Let me see. There you go.
Yay.
Okay. So yeah, so let's see if you can drop the link into the Instagram post that talks about the 60-second videos. I tried it. It doesn't seem to be taking. So,
oh, the link to that actual post?
Yeah, if you have it, sure. If not,
I have it. I have it right here. I just that one with the video.
You could try it. Yeah, see if it'll work. It doesn't seem to be working for me.
Drop-ins won't show in recordings or audio archives yet. Okay. Drop in any link.
So that's interesting. I just dropped in the Facebook post, but the Instagram one didn't seem to work.
Let me try the Instagram one.
Sure.
No, it shakes it off.
That's strange. Okay, well, we've got the link in there for everyone who wants to learn about Instagram's 60-second videos. And we also put it here in the sidebar. So topic number 2 for us today is Snapchat Chat 2.0. And Vincent, I want you to talk about this because this is pretty huge.
It really is.
Let's tell people, what is it? What's going on? Why is it important for their business?
Yeah, so Snapchat, well, number one, Snapchat is, if it's not right now, it will be eventually important for your business because your audience is going to be moving there over the course of the next year or two, I think. With this particular update, they're calling it Chat 2.0. And essentially, the main thing that they updated was how you communicate within Snapchat, along with how you view other people's snaps.
Okay.
So we'll start with the second one. So viewing other people's snaps now, and this is funny because this seems to be like a trending theme, although I don't know if this is geared towards brands, but I could justify it being geared towards brands, whether they meant to or not. The way you watch a snap, the way you watched a snap before was there's a list of people that you follow. You'd have to tap on their snap, their name, whatever. If you're in the updated section, you're going to see their newest snap that you have yet to watch. Or you could go down into the alphabetically listed section and see their whole existing story from the last 24 hours.
Okay.
Now, if you tap on the first one that's in chronological order by time, so the most recent update from the most recent person, you'll start to watch that one, their most recent update,
right, and
then it auto plays through all the rest that you have yet to watch. Okay. So this is that's, for me as a brand manager, that was the first thing I thought of was I manage our brand on Snapchat, and one of the problems I was having was keeping up with all the people who snap to us, or snap stories, not to us, who snap watching their stories. Because as the brand, like I want us to be engaged with them. I'm not just trying to post snaps about us all the time and never pay attention to what everyone else is doing. I'm trying to interact with people. That's where the power of Snapchat comes in. So to do that, we have a lot of followers at this point, or relatively speaking, hundreds.
Okay.
It's not thousands yet, but it's several hundred. So even at that level, that's a lot of stories to keep up with. I couldn't do it before. I was trying, it was just impossible. So now what this does is I can sit there, say for 15 minutes, and they just autoplay.
Okay.
And if I want to, I can tap the screen to move to the next snap, or if I don't need to see any more of someone's particular story for whatever reason, I can swipe and it'll just go directly to the next story. So everything is right. You don't have to go back and tap every time you want to see the next story. So it makes it way easier for me as a brand manager to see all those stories, and just as a regular user, it makes it easier to see.
That actually reminds me of Instagram a little bit. How Instagram is a little bit to, you have to tap and then tap back, and then you're used to like being able to swipe, for instance, across. In some applications, you can swipe and it'll go back.
You know what it reminds me? Now that you just said that, I didn't even think about this. You know what it's exactly like?
What
is on Facebook on your mobile when you're watching videos? So if you tap to watch a video on your phone, not just watching it in the feed, right? But if you tap to watch the video so you can hear the sound, and it pulls up on the screen and it's black all around it, when that video is over on Facebook, it goes to the next video from that user or page. Automatically, it keeps going until all those videos are done. So it's funny because in a way, I don't know if they stole it from Facebook or meant to do it that way, but it's a little bit of the tables being turned, since Facebook's always trying to make itself like Snapchat. In a way, that is a function that kind of came from Facebook.
Right.
So that's that part. That's the part that of the update from this week that people didn't really catch on to right away. Now it's starting to catch more steam. The initial and really the kind of the more involved and bigger part of the update is the communication side. So when you're snapping with people, now they just made it so much easier to send video snaps between each other, direct video snaps. It's all built in right on the messaging part. So let me show you guys here for those that haven't seen it.
And by the way, if you can you get me, not now, but like later on, can you get me either a screen cap or just a short animated GIF or something of that?
Oh yeah, of course.
We'll include that in the blog post recap.
Yeah, of course. Let me just pull it up here. There you go. Right. So here. I'll message it to you right now.
Sure.
How's that? Nice and easy.
That works. That's where we need to use the app Shorts that we talked about last week. I think we talked about the app. You there?
I'm here. I'm right here.
We talked about the app Shorts last week, where you could basically take photos and share your camera roll with other users. Actually, I think it was last week.
Yeah. I think it was last week.
We do these every week.
Recently.
Sometimes the apps tend to run together.
But so you have that. So put in the blog, and then honestly, it looks like, let's see if I can get it focused here.
It would be really awesome. I would love to be able to have the ability to share a link directly to your phone. To give somebody to be able to share like a live screen. Yeah. To be able to share your phone right now while we were doing the blab. That would be
awesome. That would be awesome.
Like if your phone had its own like URL or something.
There you go. So you can kind of see it because it's grayed. It's white with grayed.
Yep.
So you can see it's backwards, but there's an image, there's a phone, there's the middle circle button, which is for sending just like how you would normally send a snap. You press that, the little camera, and the sticker. So the little camera allows you to do a video directly in there. The phone allows you to actually call that person.
Okay, kind of like WhatsApp, yeah.
Yep, see it comes up like this. It'll ask you, do you want to call that person? calling on Snapchat uses Wi-Fi or mobile data.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of that. But I was having this conversation with someone earlier today about, at this point, how long before people really start to realize, because it hasn't happened yet. There's a very small amount of people that realize it, but how long before many people realize that you were very close to not needing a phone plan for your phone? It's very close to just being like, you just need Wi-Fi, and that's all you need. And you have the apps, because now there's multiple apps that you can make. Facebook Messenger and now Snapchat, you can make a phone call in as long as you're connected to that person. I mean, you can do video calls, FaceTime. You can do over Wi-Fi. iPhone don't they do Wi-Fi calls now?
They are, yeah. They did roll out.
Right.
Let's see, they rolled out AT&T. They rolled out Verizon, I believe.
But isn't it? Do you need the phone plan to make a Wi-Fi call, or can you just make a call over Wi-Fi?
I honestly, I don't. I don't really look at, am I using Wi-Fi? Am I using, my cellular plan? I don't really look at it like that. But I would say, I have definitely seen a decrease in the amount of in the amount of cellular plan usage that I've used, as far as like, not data, but actual like minutes and whatnot. I don't really look at it anymore. So
I mean, it's really at the point where you just buy the phone. You could. I mean, there might be some things that you maybe couldn't do, like if you have bad Wi-Fi reception.
Right.
But you can do everything over Wi-Fi. You can make phone calls. You can do all this stuff on the apps. And I don't know, those phone companies, I know they see it coming. Not to get too off track, but they see it coming. I know they do. And they're going to be in trouble because when people realize. So anyway, the new Snapchat update, that's part of what's coming, and part of what's here is they've made it much easier to communicate right on that screen, whereas before you had to send just a direct snap and it was either a picture or a video. Now it almost looks like the Facebook Messenger screen, where there's the options that are in gray and you can pick what you want to do. Send things easy. They also bought Bitmoji. For anyone that's familiar with them. Bitmoji, they paid $100 million for.
Bitstrips.
Bitstrips, Bitmoji. It's like it's kind of like all the same company, but they paid $100 million for them, and I had used the Bitmoji things in Snaps for like the last year. I was surprised because you can't do other things. There's some other things that you cannot do within direct snaps, or even on regular snaps that you have on a keyboard. Whereas the Bitmoji, if you have that keyboard installed, Snapchat has always accepted them, actually, and so they bought them. So I fully expect Bitmoji, Bitstrips, images to be now like brought inside Snapchat, and you'll be able to send those just by themselves. They'll look better. It won't be like an image. It'll be like something built in. They'll probably put them in filters. I can't imagine why they wouldn't. So yeah, I mean, so much happening with that update, and our world, our industry is all, the people that are into Snapchat are all about it, into it. So business wise, it's a big deal too, because one example, so customer service, a lot of companies really haven't picked up on this yet or started using it. I don't think, I haven't seen any, but Snapchat could be an enormous customer service tool for businesses that want to make it personal. Yeah, if someone snaps to a business and is like complaining about something, let's say, you could snap back and have a video and explain it through a whole story, and even show them and be like, here's why this problem exists. Here's why your pizza was undercooked. Trevor here was he was making the pizzas, and then look at our oven. It won't go up to this certain degree, so we didn't even know that, and we apologize. I mean, you know what I mean? You could get into storytelling and customer service, and that would be enormous. Imagine if you got that from a company that you were complaining, and then they sent you this whole thing about, you know what, it's from the owner. the guy's running the business, or someone back in the kitchen, or someone at the desk, front desk, and it's face to face. It's always different when it's face to face. Someone talking to you, it's always different. So that's, like I said, I haven't seen companies doing that yet, but the smart ones, I think, will pick up on that.
And I gotta say, I love the possibilities here. The only thing that I see that's somewhat of a, I want to say concern, but something that is definitely probably a lot to kind of, for a lot of businesses to kind of like get over, which is having people available to be able to do these sorts of things. I don't think that a lot of them really kind of have the staff. So I would say, if you're a business and you're like, hey, that sounds like an awesome idea. Definitely make sure you take the time to actually look into like what you have the time to actually commit to, because you can't do everything. If there are certain things you want to do, you're going to have to drop something else. So be sure you spend the time, kind of learning that, and seeing if there's any value in your business for it in your business. And if there is, think about what you actually would want to drop in order to be able to fit that stuff in. Well,
yeah, it makes a difference what your business is. If your audience is heavily using Snapchat, and you see that they're say snapping about your business, something's wrong,
right?
You can go in and relate. Now that means that you're also following them. That means that you're not just letting them follow you and then leaving them out there and hanging to dry.
Right.
You want to follow them back because you want to engage with them. You want to see what they're posting about, and on that off chance that they do post something about you, positive or negative, you can respond, and either way, it's going to be a positive for you as the business.
Absolutely. And I got to say one thing that I want to say quick before we kind of move on to the next topic, which is I could see this, I think Snapchat is definitely starting to kind of sway a lot of people. A lot of people, a lot of our own social media people that we're, conversing with, a lot of them are saying, hey, you know what? I'm actually seeing the value in Snapchat. I'm starting to kind of make the switch. I could see this being very useful as well, by the way, for like airlines and things like that. I mean, it would be great to be able to, instead of, for instance, like if you have a problem with an airline issue, you send them a tweet and they're like, well, hey, send me a direct message or something like that, or they're using some of their new customer service tools, but being able to, for example, hop on there on Snapchat, for instance, keep it somewhat private. I think that could actually, it kind of makes it a little easier in a way. If an airline was, or did decide to kind of get into doing that. So.
Very true. Personally, I think it can work for any business whatsoever. Everybody does not feel that way. I understand. I think it just goes along the whole lines of, do you believe that social media as a whole can work for anybody? I think if you do it right, you could really take just about any platform and make it work for your business. I really do. Because it's so big now. You could take Twitter and make it work for your business. You can take Facebook. You can take even LinkedIn. There's a way that I'm not saying I know all of these ways, but there's a way that a pizza business could take LinkedIn and make it work for them. There's a way. I guarantee you there's a way. There may even be some or multiple pizza businesses doing it. But, it's all social engagement. It's all social media. It's all thought leadership. It's all this stuff, communication. Like all these elements are generally involved with all of these platforms. And if you do it the right way that makes sense for how you market yourself, they can work. You can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get, you can look at other brands and kind of see how they're doing things. But I would say, you and I talk about this all the time, but yeah, I would say, if I am going to try to, implement some of these into what we're doing, I want to look at other brands, but I don't want to copy everything they're doing, because that doesn't always work. It'll work for them because they have an engaged audience. If you don't have an engaged audience and you're like, hey, I'm going to get into this because it's the new fangled thing, it doesn't always work. So look at it, and then you have to kind of think on your feet and say, okay, how can I use this within my business? And, like you said, I mean, there are things that they are going to definitely work, but you do have to kind of like say, okay, here's how it works. Let me fit my business in here and here and make some adjustments, and let me get it situated right for what I do. And you also have to look at your customer base as well. That's probably a key thing. If your customers aren't going to be on there and you're you're trying to use a tool that they're not going to be using, you're never going to reach them. It doesn't matter how much effort you put into it. You may have to actually do the opposite, which is, you may have to educate them on the benefits of why they should use that tool, why you have switched, for example, and then why they should get involved with it.
Right.
So, with that, I'm going to keep moving here. By the way, we got a number of topics. Topic number 3. This one actually, do you want to do the Messenger monetization thing, or do you want to kind of keep moving? What do you want to do?
Keep moving.
Okay. This will be, by the way.
That one can't make it. That one cannot buy its way into the show. We keep
that
trying.
One actually will be available on the blog.
There you go.
We will put that out later tomorrow. But basically, the bottom line is Facebook's testing apparently some sort of monetization strategies for Messenger, and they don't involve ads. Well, I guess they sort of involve ads, but they don't really involve like Facebook ads. So we'll talk more about that on the blog. Let's see, topic number 3, and this is actually a pretty good one. Twitter image descriptions. So for those of you who are heavy Twitter users, Twitter already shows up in search, but now they have a feature where they're allowing image descriptions. And, part of it is an accessibility thing, but at the same time, I think there could be some inherent SEO benefits as well. The bottom line is when you go and tweet something out, you'll be able to add a description / basically like a caption to your photos. So pretty simple. They can be up to 420 characters. It's going to be on iOS and Android. And I would look at it as like alt text. And alt text basically is if the image is not available for somebody, they get whatever you put in there. So what are your thoughts on this, by the way? Do you like the idea of this? I mean,
when
it's got huge ramifications.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, do you think, I know you said it about the SEO stuff. I didn't even think about that because I was thinking that it wasn't like really indexable. Do you think it will fall into that category where it potentially, or is it already now?
Well, I mean, basically the way they're doing it is you're going to be able to add a description to your image, and
Right.
they're pushing it. I mean, even in the article, they talk about it. I mean, the benefit obviously is for assistive technology. So, for example, screen readers, braille displays. If they want to have, this speak, for example, because I know on iOS you can turn on some modes to basically have certain things spoken to you. I think that there are going to possibly be some SEO benefits to this because they are talking about descriptions can be up to 420 characters. It is, they even mentioned, I think, alt text in here.
Yeah.
Known as alternative text, alt text. And if you look at it from an SEO perspective, that's what alt is. I mean, alt text is basically when I upload an image, I give it, I name it, I give it a title, I give it a description, and then I put in there, which shows up in the code to basically tell Google, if they're indexing it, this is what's there. I think that they might, again, you never know what direction if Twitter is going to get bought by Google or something like that. But
Yeah.
I think because they're already indexing tweets, I think this will actually help you if you include it. Now, they don't explicitly say this, but I think that there are some benefits to doing it. And it takes, 2 seconds to do that when you upload it?
Yes, and I was just gonna say, if maybe we can try to do it here. If you go on your profile, so I'm on my profile, and then if you go on the little cog wheel settings, click on settings, and then you go into display and sound, and then you do accessibility.
Okay.
And the bottom one says compose image descriptions, and you turn that on. Mine is on already, although I haven't tried it yet. I just turned it on just now. And so we'll see. Yeah, it's funny because they definitely, like, all the headlines and everything, marketed it, if you will, as more of an assistive thing for the folks that need the help. And this was definitely not talked about.
Right.
This update, like, it came out, I want to say it came out the same day, maybe, as the Snapchat one and the Instagram one of those two. And it was just like pushed down here, and the others were like talked about. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's not as big necessarily, but it's a pretty big step for them to, especially the fact that it's 420 characters.
Yeah, it's a lot there. I mean,
Do you think so? So here's the question, right? And I think I know your answer to this because I think you probably agree with me. But this came right after the news that Twitter would not be expanding the tweets, the tweet character limits. Coincidence?
I know, right? And that, by the way, that was actually a topic we were going to talk about, which is, as I just mentioned, instead of using 140 characters, instead of using 10,000, which is what Twitter was looking at, 140 characters. I think this is a way. It's kind of neat. I mean, you get 140 characters, you get 420 there. I mean, that's actually pretty decent. And in a way, that's almost like a blog post. I even wonder, like, would you be able to include, URLs and whatnot in your description? Because there is, by the way,
if not right away, then maybe eventually I could totally see it going that way.
I was actually going in to turn this on. I want you to kind of walk everybody through how they get to this again. So if you're on the iOS app.
Yep. Then go to the settings.
So you go to
the cogwheel.
You click on me. You click on the cogwheel. Awesome. And then where do you go?
And then you go to display and sound.
Yeah, display and sound. And then
it should tell you right there to the wording. What's the bottom
I have
option?
accessibility, and I have text size and sound.
Oh, sorry, accessibility is the one in between. Yeah, click accessibility, and then on the bottom it says click to enable image description.
So I actually don't have that on mine yet, but I do have read shortened URLs that I can turn on.
I have that too. Wait, you have an iPhone, right?
Yes.
Okay, you probably just need to maybe update the app.
Yeah, it might be that, or maybe
here's what comes up. So I'm just doing it for the first time. So it does come up once you click that. It does come up with a little word balloon.
Yeah.
I just took a picture of us here, and then it comes up, and the word balloon says, "Describe this image for the visually impaired."
So do me a favor, send me that as well. We'll put that in the blog post.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, I could see. Okay, so I could see potentially if I'm going to be doing some tweets, put in your standard tweet with your links and whatnot, and then in your description for your image, so your image description, I would probably say, hey, put in the information about what that is, and try putting in maybe a link, and and see kind of how that stuff performs for you, because it might actually work very well for you from an SEO perspective. So I don't have that one. That's interesting. So yeah, so I would recommend.
I'm also going to include an @ handle. I wonder. I mean, I don't think that any of that's in there. It doesn't like auto populate.
Right.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So yeah, so that's another piece of social media news this week, which is image descriptions. And as a business, and I can't say this, more than we've already said it. I mean, we always are talking about how it's really important when you're doing anything on the web to put in the most information that you possibly can. And this doesn't matter if it's a social media post, if it's a Facebook post, if it's a tweet and a photo you're tweeting, or any of that kind of stuff. So for example, if it's a blog post you're uploading, I want to make sure that I'm naming my images appropriately. I'm giving it a title, a description. I'm giving it alt text, or in this case, image description text. That I'm putting all that pertinent information in there, and I'm spending the little bit of time that it's going to take to do that. The reason why, it's going to help you surface better on social networks. If I'm over on Facebook, same thing. This is actually something I'm going to talk about about Facebook Notes. Facebook Notes, they're able to be indexed. And so if you're not using Facebook Notes, you could use Facebook Notes at this point to have them indexed and to potentially pull in new customers or new prospects through your content. So, and then we move to Twitter descriptions. Take the couple of seconds that it takes. You're sitting there doing this while we're actually having a blab, and
tweeted it.
We add an image description. Pretty simple.
Yeah, so it comes up like this. Let's see. So that's interesting. So when I tweeted it out, I wonder if I click on, then where does it go? That's interesting. So I tagged you in it. So when I created it, I'll show you what it looked like real quick. It looked like this on the image.
Okay.
So see in black down there. That was before I tweeted it out.
Okay.
Now, when I tweeted it out, I don't know where to go to find it. because it's not there. It doesn't come up. I wonder if I tap the image. So if I tap the image, it just comes up as the image. If I tap the dots, there's just that. Huh. I press it down. No. See, I don't know where it goes.
Well, let's just do something. Let's click on that.
Oh, so when I click on view tweet activity.
What did you put in there, by the way? What did you write?
I just put like, just put something short. Just says
Twitter.
Hold on, it's coming up. I just said so meta, talking about Twitter image description update on Blab while posting an image with description, and then like a thumbs up.
So that's what was that the description you put with the photo?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it
short.
shows up as I'm looking at the page source, and it shows up with a link, and then your actual title now shows up with hashtag not a guru on Twitter, and then so meta talking about Twitter image description updates.
If you as the person who tweeted it out, if you want to see what it looks like, I think I know where. Yeah. So if you click on view tweet activity on the tweet itself, you click on like where you would click to see the impressions and the analytics on that one tweet. You click on that, then it brings up that information, and then it also has the tweet with the image description.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. No, that's what I tweeted. That's not what I wrote in there. That's different.
Well, I mean, again, who knows what direction this is going to go. Right now, it could very well be that it's only there when you turn on accessibility on your device.
Yeah.
But then maybe down the road, maybe they're collecting all this data so that, maybe it'll get incorporated into Google search or something.
That's crazy that it just, so yeah, see, that's my tweet. And then where it went, I don't know. Where that description went, I don't know.
So the bottom line is, if you're going to start, we don't know where this is going to go direction-wise. So if you are going to be tweeting, fill out the image description. Take a couple seconds and fill it out. And, not only will you be able to reach people that, for example, if you don't have that on and people are trying, and they need the accessibility option, they won't be able to see your information. So that way, if you do the accessibility option and you set it up, people will be able to learn about that, and you might be able to get some new prospects and whatnot off of that. So better to put it out there than not do it at all.
Yeah, see what happens. But fiddle around with it, see what you can find and do and all that. So
with that, I'm going to actually get to some tools. We got 3 tools that we want to share real quickly with everybody.
Nice.
And we've sort of changed. We've been going through what tools do we share today? And we actually have a couple of different ones. So the first one I want to talk about is called Koji Go. And this one is actually a pretty cool tool. And this is what I was talking about earlier, Vincent. We were talking about video editing on your iPhone.
Okay.
And so this tool is a very neat tool. This is a company that makes, they make effects and things like that and transitions and whatnot for your, to be able to apply them to your videos. So what this is done, it's done by a director, basically a guy that is they'll basically let you do color correction and whatnot on your phone.
Okay.
Or you can apply different, there's some in-app purchases, but the in-app purchases basically let you purchase different color packs. So that's the first tool I want to talk about today. I want to mention this because basically what it does is it lets you color grade what you're shooting. So you can open a photo, you can open a video, and you can apply a certain look to the content you're sharing.
So let me ask you this, as someone like an Instagram user, is this just a more precise and more photogenic way to do filters and all the features within Instagram?
It is, yes. So basically what you can do is you get, there's 16 additional films that are available. You also can get more granular control. So for example, you can if your photo needs some more density to it, you can up the black level. You can alter the colors, the temperature. If you want more reds or more, for instance, if you want a photo that has a certain look to it, like a certain blue hue, you can apply that with this. It works in portrait and landscape, and you can save it directly to your device. Or you can also transfer it back to your computer if you have some of their other tools and do some additional editing with that. But it's $3. They are going to probably raise the price. I don't know what's going to get raised to, but it's
$3 initially, and then they charge $1 for each thing if you want to kind of add filters.
Yeah, for some filters.
Right.
There's some additional filter packs basically, but $3, and then it's a couple dollars here and there, and then they also have one that they give you for free called Report. But basically, it's and I'm actually going to download this tonight and play around with it. I've been messing with it earlier. I've used their other products, but very good tool.
Cool.
For $3, and then you tack on 3, 6, 7, 8.
But not for everybody.
Right.
Right. Yes.
Right. You spend $10 basically on an app, and it lets you basically do color grading on your device, and then you could upload that to Instagram or something if you want to. So, but as you mentioned, yeah, not for everybody. The reason why is because not everybody's going to want to color grade. People might just want to take everything at in whatever light that it's bathed in when they take the photo. So, would you use this? I know I would, but would you use it?
Personally, no. I mean, I think personally, I'm so jaded and used to Instagram, and that for me, not being like someone that's a pro photographer,
right,
or that into pictures to that extent, what Instagram provides for me is good. But I definitely have friends that photography business, they love Instagram, even though they use the high profile or high end cameras, like they still love Instagram. And they would use something like that.
I mean, and here's the thing, it's $3. It's pretty neat. I mean, $3, and there's also some basically they do like 35 millimeter stocks. So like you can take the 35 millimeter, like if you want something or you don't want it, you can apply some of that stuff with Instagram, but this lets you get a lot more granular with it.
Sure.
So definitely check it out. Tool number 2 for today, and we're going to continue with the Instagram theme here. And tool number 2 is, okay, so let's talk about, we're going to talk a little bit more about coloring or color grading. So tool number 2 is a tool called Afterlight. And I'm actually going to give you 2 tools. One is Afterlight, and the other one is actually, and the third tool is definitely, it's more for video. So tool is called Afterlight. This is a great tool for editing any sort of photos that you want to take on your mobile device. I've been using this one for, I don't know how long, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I was just saying, I know I've heard of Afterlight. I used it a little bit myself a while back, and that I think that's kind of where I figured out that those types of apps for me personally, I don't always get the value out of them. Now that one's, again, it's $1, $2, $3, what have you, and again, they're just not for everybody, but they are for a lot of people. A lot of people like, especially this one. This one is, Afterlight has a lot of different effects that you can apply past what Instagram can give you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's actually one of the cool things. So what you can do with this is you can reframe your photos. Again, this is only for photos for Afterlight, but basically you can reframe your photos. You can also use it to, again, it's not just for Instagram. You can use it for anything you're using. So for example, if I'm on iOS, I can pop it onto, or I can use it for like my Facebook photos.
Right.
It is a pretty awesome app. I mean, for $1, it's pretty freaking amazing for what you get.
I've only heard good things. I mean, someone recommended it a while, like probably a year ago or so.
Yeah,
so it's been around.
They give you the filters. So for example, if you want more than the filters Instagram offers, here's my process. I basically open Afterlight, I take my photo, and then I edit it right there in Afterlight. And then if I want to at any point, it's fine. So basically what I do is I basically take the photo with Afterlight. I then, when I'm finished, will go in and I will do all my editing in there. If I want to apply a filter, if I want to do some cropping, add a frame, a border, any of that kind of stuff. And then I can export it and save it directly to my camera roll and to Instagram. I mean, this app, it has 13,000 reviews. So for all versions, the current version has 575. It's got 4.5 stars. It's a really good app.
Yeah.
For $1, it's pretty amazing. It's well worth it.
Absolutely.
So that's if you want to edit photos on Instagram. The other flip side that I mentioned was a way to shoot video on iPhone. And I, all these tools, I mentioned them for this reason. I mentioned them because, we talked about today, like Instagram and Snapchat. Instagram has longer videos that you're gonna be able to shoot. And this is an absolutely great tool for being able to do this. I personally use this app for all of my videos that I shoot anytime I'm on camera or I want to record something. This is a little bit pricey. It's $10, but I will say it's going to be the only app that you're going to even need because it does everything you can think of from a video perspective. It is, I've used this for years, but people have actually shot big budget movies on this. So they've used their iPhone with this app. It lets you get a lot more advanced coloring and applying different effects and things like that to your to basically what you're over there trying to film. So for example, if you want a certain look to things, instead of recording with your stock camera app, a lot of times, the video might be too dark. You can't just put the flash on. This will actually let you adjust the color temperature. It'll let you change the black levels. You can go in and do things where you can brighten up the image, darken it, and so forth.
Well, and it's also that I think probably for the serious person or someone that wants to get serious with this stuff, it's, all those different letterbox and 16:9, all the movie type shot ratios, but then it works with other platforms. Mm-hmm. It's supported by other platforms like Vimeo. For it to be supported by Vimeo is that's everything is not supported by Vimeo. Mm-hmm. You can upload pretty much any video on Facebook, but Vimeo is not always as easy to work with.
No, absolutely. So I can't recommend this one enough. I tell people all the time about this one, and I would say this. It's not just for let me use it for my business. You can use this for anything you want. If you've got a family, events. I know you use your phone a lot. But
yeah, I do.
You can create really amazing looking videos, things that you're going to be able to have down the road using this.
This I would potentially give, even it's $10. I would definitely consider this one myself.
It's very good. Very good. So can't recommend enough. But that's again another thing. You can shoot something for that and save your camera roll, drop it in Instagram, make some edits or whatnot to it. Use it for Facebook video, for example, if you want to create some Facebook videos.
It also offers it the Apple Watch app, so I wonder if that means you can remote start things from the watch.
I believe you can actually. I normally just start the phone.
Yep.
But actually, let me get that for everybody while we're looking at that. I think it does.
I just pulled it up in the App Store, and it said it offers an Apple Watch app, so that's always fun.
You could start it. You could stop it. You can. It looks like you can work with the flash as well, and you can see kind of where you're going to go as far as file storage and whatnot. So well worth it, but can't recommend it enough. I've been using it for a long time. With that, I have one last app for everybody. You might have heard of this one. This one's called. So these are some really neat little apps we've been looking at lately. So this one's called Shootler. Basically, how we talked about. What's the app? We talked about Shorts, how you could do a camera. This is actually pretty neat. So you can do a camera roll, okay? So I can go ahead and I can use, for instance, Shorts, and that will basically let me take, it'll let me have access to somebody's camera roll. This one is actually pretty neat because it's a free app. What it basically does is it lets you use somebody else's phone to take a photo.
What?
Yeah. Check that out. It's free, iOS and Android.
Wait. Take it yourself with their phone.
So basically what it does is, so for example, let's say you and I were, let's say you were in a certain location. Let's say you're in Phoenix right now.
Yeah.
And instead of me saying, hey, Vincent, can you take a photo and can you share it with me? Basically what it does is I can request you to take a photo. All you have to do is accept it. It'll open your camera. It will take a photo and then it will send it back to me.
What?
Yeah. So it is, unless it is pretty amazing.
That's
basically you take it yourself with their phone.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Yeah,
boy, that is that's
it's really cool. I think it's really cool.
Oh, and then so there's an option as usual, which we usually end up finding out because the immediate question is like, well, what if you don't want that photo to be taken right then?
Right.
It's like you can wait to take the picture or you can decline it. Like you have the option as the owner of the phone to take the picture. It's still up to you. Yeah.
I mean, really neat, I think. I mean,
Yeah, that's a fun idea.
yeah, we'll have to try this one out, you know, when we're in, that'll actually be cool. You know what? We'll try it out in like maybe in San Diego or something.
Yeah.
You know, we could,
Dude,
maybe when I'm on stage.
what if Snapchat bought these guys?
Mm-hmm.
You could take snaps.
Snapchat. I mean, there's so much. I mean, there's
other places that would be insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it almost reminds me of Periscope in a way. Like, remember how they had where you could view somebody's scope from like their phone and another location?
The Cameo thing from Meerkat, that one.
Duet.
Was it? You mean the Cameo? Was that the Meerkat one where they did like the Cameo? You could switch. Oh, you could switch.
I was thinking it was Periscope, but maybe it was Meerkat.
Periscope might have that too. I to be honest, I forget.
Basically, it was where, you know, I could have my phone and I could look through your device and see what you're seeing. So, but overall, I mean, this is actually pretty slick. I mean,
that's crazy. I just downloaded it, so I'm gonna check it out.
I mean, it's amazing to see what is happening just in the last like few weeks. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about an app that let you, you know, access somebody's camera roll. You know, now we're talking about, you know, like they let you quickly share like photos almost like as a network. Then we talked about, you know, a couple of weeks ago before that, how you could randomly message somebody a photo out of your camera roll. And now we're talking about one where you can take something from somebody's device. That's pretty cool.
That's insane.
And I mean, it's going to go back, you know, from a business perspective, it's going to go back to, it's all about personal relationships, and it's all about, you know, networking with people. You know, so for example, if I have a really awesome network, like I don't have to worry about them, you know, taking a photo. I mean, the biggest issue I think usually that happens is, you probably have this too. You're at an event, somebody takes a photo. If, for example, if I'm at your event and you don't post that photo right then, and you're like, well, hey, we'll do it on Monday when we're back. Once we've gotten through the event, the buzz has already died down from the event. So this could be really cool. I mean, it would even be neat if, you know, I think it actually could be really cool if like, if you actually got to have a more personal relationship with your customers. You know, for example, if they're at your event, imagine having one person, you know, and having everybody install this. You could say, have everybody on stage, have your CEO, for instance, say, hey, I want you to open your phone, and have them like take a photo and actually take a photo for you, so that you have everything in your one location versus, oh, I got to go remember to collect this photo from this person and that person and that person.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of practical applications for that.
Oh my God.
This is a great way for you to get fan content.
Yes.
Provided you've built a relationship with your fans.
I mean, in a way, it's already like Snapchat already does it. They're just like an extra step.
Right.
Like they have to send it into you. But this is, yeah, that's crazy. So, and it does photo and video. I just realized it does video too.
Yep.
That's insane. Well, there was one, you know what I was going to mention to you, because we're on this line, there's an app, it's called Being, Being, that it lets you assume the role, like on Instagram. If I want to see what your Instagram feed looks like, it allows me to do that.
Which spell that one again? B-E.
Just Being, like human being, Being. Being. That's the app. So basically, you put in the person's username, and because you're who you follow, that's just public information.
Right.
So it allows you to follow all that same group of people. Mm-hmm. So you can look at, and so if you follow 5,000 people, it'll, in the app, show me what your feed looks like based on who you're following.
Very cool. Yeah. So do me a favor.
A little creepy, but.
Do me a favor. Send me that. And so like we might actually, you know, we'll see how everything goes next week, but we might actually, maybe we'll feature that one next week. That's pretty cool. I mean, this is so amazing. I mean, here's the thing. I have a bunch of different photography apps and whatnot on my devices, but I mean, I love playing around with these things to be able to see how much is that. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, there's so much stuff. So, and here's the thing. You don't have to use all of it, but it's like, hey, I got this, you know, if you want to get creative with your business, this is a great way to like, you know, to kind of plan ahead and think like, okay, hey, I have this app or this app and this app. Well, what can I do with that? You know, that's going to be pretty neat for my customers to create some compelling content. So with that, by the way, do you have anything else for anybody today?
We don't. We covered a lot.
We have, yes. And look at that. We're getting better at these, man. What are we at? 6:05. Not too bad. We started a couple minutes late. Not a big deal. but now we're getting things rolling. So with that, I want to say if you want to subscribe to next week's show. We're going to put a link in there for everybody to go do that. We recommend you do that. That way, we know who's coming.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if you want to get on the email list, be sure you text Social Chatter to 33444. That's going to get you on the list. We send out an email usually the morning beforehand with a link to last week's show, some new videos, and also tell you what kind of content we're going to talk about for this week's episode of Social Chatter.
Awesome.
So with that, man, it's not even, I forgot, tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
But it is nice to have
Thursday
this.
now. Yeah.
But
we do these on Thursday now.
I got to say, I mean, it's amazing to have. I like having this stuff done. I think that, it gives us some flexibility. And, we, again, love bringing you the latest social media news and tools. And so with that, I want to say thank you, everybody. Vincent, it's a pleasure having you again as a co-host on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I liked this episode. This was a really fun episode. We talked about a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
So,
Until next week.
Till next week, yes. 5 p.m. on Thursdays, right?
That's it, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Later, guys.
Bye.